Hi, I'm Dr. Patrick Andersen of Madison Maximize Living. It's been said that 3% of people have written goals and read them on a daily basis. 3% are also considered highly successful. There may very well be a connection here. Coming up next, we're going to discuss how to achieve your meaningful, worthwhile goals and ignite your best focus and efforts like never before. Turn your wishes into goals and your goals into reality. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking today about maximizing your life through goal achievement, which is such a great positive thing to talk about. So I'm really excited to see what we come up with today. So let's start with how does goal achievement tie into like the maximized mind we've been talking about, the 5 essentials? How does this all mesh together?
Sure. Well, we have 5 essentials in chiropractic healthcare and maximize living. Maximize mind is the first one, and then we have maximize your nervous system, maximize nutrition, maximize fitness, and minimize toxins. And in the maximize mind section, we find that one of the best things for the mind to really be on target is to set goals. And people are stimulated when they set goals. So they overcome limiting beliefs when they start having goals. They learn their limiting beliefs when they are setting goals. So it really ties into maximizing your mind and positive mental management.
Which has got to be a great thing for just your overall health, even just to have that great mindset. So we talked a little bit about why they're important. So why else would you say they're important besides just kind of opening your mind a bit?
Well, having goals really gives your subconscious mind, some people call him George, let George do it, give your subconscious mind some directions, and it just takes off on you. And people that set goals and aspire to attain them are more motivated to sustain their focus longer, especially if it's a goal that really is important to them. And they've thought it through and they chunked it down. We'll go through a lot of those kind of things. But it motivates you, it sustains your focus. People who set goals don't have as much anxiety or depression. They're targeted. And goals are like the rudder of a ship. Imagine going on a cruise and you didn't have a rudder. I mean, where are you going?
Yeah.
And so you're really giving your subconscious mind a direction, a plan of action for it to carry out. And it'll work hard even while you're sleeping, especially while you're sleeping.
So you could wake up and just have this great new idea how to take your next step.
That's why it's good to have a pad and paper next to your bed sometimes, because you just might get these great ideas in the middle of the night, jot them down, which otherwise you might forget.
So let's get people excited about some of these things. Let's show them how they can do it. So what are some of the categories? Because goals, we've got some options here.
Yeah.
There's all different areas of your life.
Exactly, and I've got 6 of them noted here. I've added a 7th one. So we look at different categories. So when we set goals, you don't want to set too many, but it's important, I think, to look at each category of life and make sure you're not dropping the ball on anything. I mean, what good is all the financial success in the world if your relationships are on the rocks?
Right.
Or other things. So we look at different categories, one being financial, one being health and fitness, one being spiritual, one relationship, a career, work, and then recreation, fun. We don't want to forget about that because some people are all work and no play, and that,
right.
that doesn't work either. So those 6 categories really matter. With the financials, we want to set goals that are important to you, not just anybody. What are your goals? And so you aren't going anywhere if your finances aren't in good shape. And if your relationships aren't in very good shape and you got all the finances, that doesn't work either.
No one to go with you.
And yeah, exactly. And then if your spiritual life isn't in the right place, that's kind of meaningless in so many ways. So the goal is really to balance that wheel. And that's what we want to do more in the next few minutes.
So I like how this too is forcing you to examine all areas of your life, because some people do just focus on 1 or 2 of these and just think, well, I'll wait until later. So you can really, you can work on goals in all these areas simultaneously.
Yes, and the thing to look at, is we want a round wheel. And if these were spokes in a wheel, this being 0, this being 10.
You got a flat tire.
Yeah, you got a flat tire, you got a flat spot on your tire. It's not going to roll down the road very efficiently or very effectively.
So stay with us. We'll have more on setting your goals right after the break. Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking about maximizing your life through goal achievement. And right now we're talking about the wheel of life, basically how you can get your goals spread out across all areas of life without having the flat tire.
Exactly.
Having one area of your life just be too low.
Yeah, one area is flat, and imagine that tire going down the road, or especially if it was a harder tire, you'd be clunking pretty loudly. Or if you aren't very far along on where you think you should be, if you're all just little numbers here, you've got a pretty tiny wheel. So a big wheel covers more territory. So kind of the goal is to have longer spokes and more balanced spokes.
What if somebody right now is looking at this and thinks, oh, my wheel is pretty small? I mean,
that's fine. It
how do you
doesn't
get past
matter.
that?
It doesn't matter where you start. That's the cool thing about this. Because there's a saying, is beginning is halfway there. Facing the right direction is halfway there. Your attitude, your mind, your focus, your energy totally change as soon as you have direction. So when I work with patients and I give them a health, or we work to a health goal that comes from them, of course, or a fitness goal or something like that, for them to say, I can do that, their eyes just start sparkling, they light up, and you know they're on goal. And happy is the man who's on, or woman who's on goal, because it changes your total chemistry.
So I wonder, people could be surprised then at just how fast their wheel could grow.
Yeah. And, but first we want to know where you're at. You want to know for yourself. In order to get the best goal achievement, you really want to have the best targets. In order to have the best targets, you really want to do a self-assessment. And I think this is one of the most valuable things I could show someone on self-assessment, is where do you feel you're at? For example, the center of the hub of the wheel, that's 0. And as we go out here, we go up to 10. So if you're at home and you're sitting and not driving in a car, or listening to this where you can't pay attention, make a big circle, draw spokes, and then see where would you rate your health on a scale of 0 to 10. And you can put many factors in that. You could talk nutrition, you could talk fitness, you could talk toxicities, energy level. But overall, where would you rate your health? Would you rate it a 5, a 9, a 2? And then move on to the next thing, spiritual. And that's a sensitive topic for many people, but what are you reading? What do you think about what goes on after death and what's important in your life? And what kind of time do you put in on your spiritual development? And so where would you rate yourself from 0 being none to 10 being completely, totally satisfied, on track, and thrilled with where you're at? Next one is relationships. And there's multiple relationships we have. I'm not saying date many people, but I'm saying you have
Your
family, friends, spouses, boyfriend, girlfriend. And where are you at overall on your relationships? Are you a 7, 8, 9, or is it a 1 or 2? And what we're going to end up doing is connecting these numbers, and you're going to see the shape of your wheel. And that's a real self-awareness type of thing. Next is career and work. Where are you at on your career? Is this where you expect it to be? Is it where you want to be? Are you happy and satisfied? Or is there more you want to do? And so I would put a mark on that level. And then look at recreation, fun, which is often missed. That people end up working and saving and struggling, and they don't have enough time for recreation and fun. So what this kind of does is a great equalizer, because it helps you realize you got to balance.
Right.
And so that vacation isn't just, it is a necessity to refresh and recharge and come back stronger. So, and then financial, we aren't going anywhere if we don't have some financial security, some savings. So some people might want to have a 90-day emergency fund as a goal, things like that. But when you do that, just connect the dots on where you think you are at, and you'll see the shape of your wheel. And from that, you can really make best targets for more capability in achieving those goals.
Well, we're going to go to break, but during that break, go ahead and make the wheel and see what the shape of your wheel is. And when we come back, we'll tell you how to fill it out to make it a nice round circle. Stay with us. Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking about goal achievement today and how you can maximize your life through those goals and achieving those goals. So let's talk about this. I'm really excited about this, the 3-minute dream list. This is really fun.
This is a chance to expand your imagination. So once a quarter, once a month, you can just take a piece of paper and write down on the top, 3-minute dream list. And then set a timer, an egg timer, and then you get 3 minutes to write as fast as you can, because those first thoughts are best. The biggest dreams you can possibly imagine. Who do you want to meet? Who do you want to become? Where you want to go? How much do you want to have at the end of your life? What do you want to donate to? What foundation do you want to set up? So having a dream list, it's really fun to stretch your imagination, and we don't do that. So I put on my dream list, for example, I want to have a 747. Donations are being accepted. 747 that travels around the world adjusting heads of state and presidents so they know what real health care is naturally. So that would be, that's my big, that's a pretty good size goal.
That's a pretty good size goal.
Yeah, that's not a puny goal.
So the bigger the better with this.
Yeah, this is a chance to just stretch your mind and dream, because when you write it down, you bring something that was just a thought or a wish into the physical world. That sounds a little ethereal or mystical.
Yeah, it does.
But it really does happen that way when you bring a thought into reality when you write it down.
And then you're really focusing on it too, because I'm sure you reread. Do you reread this list?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you reread it. And it's even said if you just write the list down and put it away, you'll accomplish some things.
You still will.
I mean, this isn't just a total dream list. You can put some more quickly attainable goals
right.
on your dream list. But it's important to stretch your mind. So in Maximize Living, our goal is to change healthcare. In the next 35 years, our goal is to have 34 million people doing regular chiropractic care, because we feel that will totally change healthcare. Because when people do regular chiropractic care, they have 1/3 the overall health expenses, they take 85% less prescription drugs, and they have 60% less hospitalizations. And that's a big dream for us, because we're just a small part of the healthcare field. But yet we want to change healthcare so that people prevent disease rather than wait till we get it and then treat it with drugs and surgery. Nothing wrong with drugs and surgery necessarily at all, but why, if you could prevent it, wouldn't you want to do that?
Right. So you can have goals for your company, for your
company,
all aspects.
And any aspect, on our wheel of life. So take 3 minutes and write as fast as you can, and dream big, and would love to have you send your most outrageous goals. We'll send you a gift when we read your most outrageous goal on air. So just email us at drpat@wi57.tv, and we'd love to read your goal, because the more people you tell about it, the more likely it'll happen.
So yeah, so send those dreams into us. The
Yeah.
bigger the better. So let's also talk about a goal sheet. This can help you too.
Yeah, so we take each of the categories, the 6 or 7 if you add education to it, categories, and then write down your goal, and then write down the date you want to achieve it. It's a goal date. You really want to have it's just a wish if it doesn't have a deadline on it. Dreams are just wishes if they don't have a deadline. And so you want to put a deadline on it. And then the fun part is a reward when you achieve it. What is your reward when you achieve it? And the not so fun part is, what's the penalty if you don't achieve it?
Oh, so that's a new one. I've heard of rewarding yourself.
Yeah, because you want to have, a carrot and a stick. The stick is the penalty, and the carrot is something you're reaching for. Or one I like to I like to say is, you want 2 bulldogs on your butt and a diamond to reach for ahead of you. And that's the secret, that'll get you right sizing your goal.
And pretty quickly at that,
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, so that's interesting, because some people are more motivated by pain than
pleasure.
Yeah,
it's a pain-pleasure paradigm, and it's good to know which one you're motivated moving towards pleasure, is that more motivating? Or moving away from pain, is that more motivating? We all probably have some of each.
So know what works for you and use it. So stay with us. We'll have more on goal achievement right after the break. Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking about goal achievement today and how you can maximize your life by achieving your goals. So we were talking a little bit before the break about the goal sheet, but then also the rewards and penalties that go along with that to motivate you.
This is quite a fun and interesting thing. So when you get the reward, what you want to go out, what you want to do is go out and buy that reward. Let's say you want a new 55-inch LCD TV or something like that, or a new outfit. You go buy that, and then you don't get to put it on or watch the TV or turn it on until you reach your goal.
Oh, that's cool. I thought you were going to say
you got to get some leverage here to
it.
make sure that you want to do it.
Oh,
now
okay.
here's the fun thing. Now, do you know anyone who wouldn't want a 55-inch LCD TV?
No, yeah.
Well, if you don't reach your goal by your goal date, you have to give your reward to somebody else.
That's brilliant. That's reward and punishment taken
Yeah.
care of.
Pain and pleasure paradigm. Will you set a right-sized goal? Or will it
Wow.
be too big?
That would motivate me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so the reward and penalty, or your penalty might be, if I don't have neighbors like this that maybe I don't get along with, I'm very fortunate, but if you have a neighbor you don't get along with or something, the penalty would be, I'm going to shovel their walks for the month. They might not be, they might like you a lot more afterwards.
Yeah, you might make a new
But
friend.
that's, you can do things like that you really don't want to do necessarily, but yeah, that could be your penalty.
Oh, interesting. So you got to vote. There's no excuses then because you've already got it. You've already bought the thing.
Yeah, and you can't open it, can't look at it. I mean, you can look at it, the box, but,
but you can't take
use
it out.
it.
Yeah.
And so those are the big keys to reaching goals. That'll right-size your goals and your targets right away.
Yeah, I already feel motivated, Dr. Pat, as we're talking to you about that. Let's also talk about how you can align your goals with your life values, because it would be so much more meaningful to you if you just got to figure out what your life values are.
Exactly. And so I made a list of 15 values or more that we when we're out of sync, when values conflicts sabotage our joy and our happiness and our productivity and our achieving goals. Values conflict. So how do you know what your values are? It's real simple. I value blank significantly more than blank. So some of life's values would be God, time with family, time with kids, time with spouse, income, savings, job, title, health, fitness, workout time, security, wisdom, sex, helping others, playfulness, continuing education, time with friends, partying, giving to those in need, your legacy, what people think of me, prayer time, peace of mind, developing new skills. And you can make your own list of values. I went through quite a list. But all you do is then say, I value blank much more than this. I value time with my children much more than my health or money or, other things. So, but when you align your values and you put them in order, which one stays at the top, then when the inevitable conflicts of life happen, you can just look at your values and say, well, here's my answer right here. My values tell me this is what I need to do with my decision. So if you value time with your family and you got a job that's going to cause you to travel and work extra hours, you may have an easier decision there.
And I think, too, that people need to be conscious of choosing their own values and not what they think they're supposed to do.
That is huge.
Because if somebody truly deep down valued, money over some of these more noble pursuits or their job over their family.
It's a real come to Jesus time where you really think about what matters most to me. Mm-hmm. But you're right, way too many people do what other people think they should do. So this is a time to really get right with yourself and decide what matters to you, and that's what's great about it.
And do they all need to be ranked, or can some be valued equally?
Yeah, you can rank them equally.
As long as you
equal.
Yeah. So fascinating.
But and there's no judgment whatsoever. It's just what you believe your values are, because values conflicts will sabotage you, creates more stress than anything. But when you have your values aligned, stress reduces.
And you're just honest with about who you are.
Yeah.
Well, stay with us. We'll have more on goal achievement right after the break. Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv.
Thank you for watching Maximize Living through Goal Achievement, Part 1. If you're like most people, this show really got you thinking about goals in each of the areas of your life. Feed your incredible subconscious ability by setting right-sized goals in all aspects of your life. Your focus, energy, and creativity are never higher than when you are on goal. For Maximize Living, I'm Dr. Patrick Andersen. Until next time, live well and God bless.
Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv.